Hello, everyone. I'm Damon. This is my mom, Cynthia. We're here to help
Hi.
you beat foreclosure. We've had a couple of videos now where you've got to know us a little bit. The second video that we just wrapped up, we talked about the foreclosure process. There were 6 steps. And we also talked a little bit about if you wanted to try to sell the home on your own.
Right. Now we want to talk to you about the next step that we would recommend, even before you would try to work with us, which is to your advantage, is to try to do a loan modification. Let me just describe the difference between refinancing your home, which everybody did like crazy in the last 2 or 3 years. Interest rates were down at 0. You were kind of nuts if you didn't refinance your house and take advantage of that low interest rate. You could usually get down to a 3% loan on your house and bring your payment way down. Well, the only problem with that was that COVID hit, people were out of work, the whole circumstance of the world has changed, and so it really became a very difficult thing to try to stay current with mortgage payments. So what is being suggested is that you try to do a loan modification. Obviously, as we've said before, the best thing to do would be to pay off what you owe, but most people can't do that. Secondly, try to sell your house by yourself. If you've done that and it didn't sell, because there are now fewer, with the high interest rates, there are fewer buyers and prices are now even starting to come down. The best thing for you obviously would be to have been able to sell the house. But let's say you tried that and now you have to try to do a loan modification. Well, here's the problem with the loan modifications. Let's say you had a 3%, which was a smart interest rate, but now rates are up to
6, 5 or 6, whatever they are.
And going up. They are supposed to go up increments of 0.25 each quarter of this year. All right, so let's say you've now decided that you want to try to get your loan modified. Refinancing, it means that you pay off entirely the existing loan, and then that's completely written again for you with a totally new loan. That's not what we're talking about here. This is a loan modification where you keep that loan, but you have to work with your lender to add whatever your additional cost, which you didn't pay during the COVID and the moratorium on COVID, now has to be added to the back end of your loan. We do have, I don't know, Damon, if you could bring that up on the screen.
Yeah, let's go ahead and
there are some
share the
things
screen again.
that you have to do for this modification. Here's one of the problems.
So like I'm just sharing with you, if you go on the internet, I'm on Rocket Mortgage's site, and you can find several different sites that can help you out here.
But some of the things you're going to need is you're going to have proof of income, your last year's tax return, a year's worth of bank statements, and then they like a hardship letter for you to tell them why you are behind in arrears on your payments.
Where it gets tricky though, they usually want 2.5 to 3 times, don't they?
Yes.
When they do these modifications.
Yes. Okay. Then, so here's what happens. If they add more money onto the end of the loan, you also have to double your interest payment, which is usually going to double your monthly payment.
If you go from 3 to 6%, it's going to double it, right?
It's going to double it, which means also that you have, as Damon just mentioned, you normally now have to have income, maybe husband and wife, together, of 2.5 times whatever that new payment is going to be. And you have to have had that money for 2 years. Well, with COVID, nobody has that payment. So certainly you're going to have a difficult time getting the loan. So we have talked to quite a few people that have gone through that whole process of trying to modify their existing loan, and now they don't qualify to buy their own house. So that's where you have to look for something else that you can do now.
They should also know, though, that we have an extensive network of lenders that we deal with. As I mentioned before, I'm a realtor. With my brokerage, we have in-house lenders there. We just have a lot of different options. If you, in fact, need help finding, you can go on the internet. You can Rocket Mortgage would love to talk to you.
Sure, and we have some good lenders. It's the thing we recommend that you do. If you can do this on your own and you can modify your loan and you work with your lender and they grant you that modification, that's wonderful. That's the best thing to do. But let's say you couldn't pay off what you owe You tried to sell your house by yourself. That didn't work. You've gone through the loan modification thing, and now you've got a pre-foreclosure notification on your property. Now is when the clock is ticking. So the next step, and this is the one that we can get involved with, is that you can try to get a cash offer, or you can work with people that are investors. So that's another whole phase, the next stage of what you could try to do. And you want to do that certainly before you get the notice of the auction date coming up, because then you're getting very close to losing your home. So that's what our next video is going to be. If you have any questions about this portion of it, the loan modification, well, it doesn't make sense to me to try to refinance your home with the interest rates what they are right now. It wouldn't be any different than the loan modification.
That's what we're finding in the market right now, because the rates are so high. Sellers are just sitting back now, and that's why we have such low inventory, and the pricing here in Southern California stays high because sellers are not willing. I mean, why would you want to put your home on the market right now when the rates are as high as they are? There's no reason to modify it or to refinance.
And buyers, the normal buyer who wants to have, the family that has a husband, wife, couple of children, who wants to buy your home, have to qualify in the same way to get that new loan. So the banks, the percentage of new loans has dropped to about a third. So it's harder to get the loans. So maybe your option is to go and work with somebody who will get you a cash offer.
And that's actually another interesting point. I'm hearing also the requirements now, the banks are becoming much more careful because they're not wanting a repeat of 2008.
That makes sense too.
And so
Sure.
They don't want to have all of these bad loans. The subprime market, they had all these bad loans on the books. They're trying to not repeat those mistakes. So their requirements now are a lot more difficult to qualify for.
Right. But don't just give up. Give us a call, text Damon, ask him any questions specifically about this that we can try to address for you.
You're going to get through it, is the bottom line. We're
Right.
here to help you. You're going to have several options. And our point is that we're here to help you every step of the way.
And it's a little bit, it's frightening, and it's very stressful, and people are lacking hope. And if anything, we would like to just talk to you and try to encourage you, direct you, even if you don't work with us, to see if we can help you find some people that can get you out of this dilemma that hundreds of thousands of people are going through right now. Maybe it's just my disposition and personality, but I hate to see the banks and Wall Street get everybody's home, every middle class person in America. We don't want to let that happen. And so we're doing what we can to try to help you.
And the difference with the two of us, like, you can turn on the TV and they literally are running ads now. You can see these guys that are advertising now for home buying services. Like, they will take out a 30-second spot ad and they'll say, hey, we're going to pay you cash for your house and give you a fair price. These are big time companies. We're a small company. We're here, the two of us. We have the connections, but we're here to help you individually. You're going to talk to me. You're going to talk to Mom when you make that phone call.
Right.
So you're going to get the personalized service. And that's what's going to differentiate us, is that the people that you're seeing here on the video are actually the people that you're going to deal with.
Right. So call us. Let's do a Zoom. We want to come out and see your house, and tune into our next video, because we're going to talk about how to get one of these cash offers. How does that work with lenders, etc. So we'll talk to you soon.
And yeah, so on the YouTube page, you can see there, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you for tuning in. What video are we on? Is this our third or fourth one now?
And I think we're going to do several more. So
yeah, hit the subscribe button, and on the top is that little notification bell. Hit that. That makes sure every time a new video comes in, you'll be notified right away. We're looking to do about a video a week in the future.
We want to do that. We want to pace them just to try to keep current with the craziness with the banks and foreclosures and the builders and the interest rates that are being charged to give you a loan, the interest rate going up that you're charged. It's crazy. And the inflation, it changes every single week. So we want to try to keep you up to date as much as we can.
And we want to help you beat foreclosure.
That's the biggest deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
See you on the next one, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you on the next video. Thank you.